I didn't complete it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so tell me, could you do it? You know, could you? Of course, no matter if you didn't complete it, you have time, you can complete it. But could you do it?
Yes, I open book and I try to write out something I think I thought, and I trying to correct the sentences, but
Yeah.
I'm how to say? I mean, it's not familiar with me to complete. I mean, express my thoughts on sentences.
You know, of course, I know maybe actually it's a little challenging for the first time, you know, the same writing for the first time, it can be a little hard, a little challenging, but you don't need to correct yourself. Don't do this. Just try to write anything that actually comes to your mind. Then you
Yeah.
send me and I will correct. If you make any mistake, I will correct. So no worries, no matter if you make lots of mistakes or you don't make any mistakes, okay? So just try to write, okay, and try to express your idea, your opinion on this, actually on the title, just this. And then, of course, we'll talk about your writing and we can correct all mistakes.
I will try it again and you later
First,
because I have worksheet from tomorrow until weekend. So today I try to prepare some work before
uh-huh.
I go.
Right.
So it's and I know I need to um, trying to learn via reading, speaking, and writing.
For skills,
Yeah,
listening is
of course.
really important. Yeah, you forgot about listening. Listening is really essential. Of
Yeah,
course, you know. Of course, I told all my students that, of course, you need to learn all the skills: listening, writing, reading, speaking. Okay, but the most important actually goal, your desired goal all the time is speaking. So you want to write in order to actually be a fluent speaker. You want to learn grammar in order to be a fluent speaker. You want to actually listen carefully and be a careful listener in order to speak better. So actually, the end of all these ways, you know, is speaking. So that is really important, how to speak and how to use. Okay, of course, we need to learn writing because we need to send letters, especially for business. You know, when actually you have special occupation, you need to write
yeah,
to, I don't know, your boss, your colleague, and the all the companies. So that is really important to learn. And
yeah.
you need to listen and you need to speak. So, of course, you have a really hard way.
Okay.
Well, okay. Ready? Get started?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, okay. Um, I want to ask you about something. The first thing that I'm going to ask you is about the most significant criterias, or to actually for can be, for example, for financial success. So, if I want to change my question, and actually, if I want to clarify my question, how how can we get financial successful? In what ways? And what criterions are really important to lead us to actually find, you know, financial success, you think, as a businesswoman?
Mm, Honestly, I don't understand exactly about your question.
Okay, so you know,
No, I
finance. Yeah.
you just repeat that again. Yeah,
Of
it's
course,
the
of
same.
course. So let me repeat it again. Okay, I asked you about the ways that actually can lead us to financial success. So in what ways can be successful financially?
Success.
Yeah, financial. And what is actually I want to ask you, okay, what financial success is, you think?
Financial success is we can control
Mm-hmm.
our money. Yeah. Even we have much money or less money, fin- financial success is mean mm, we have enough money to do the thing we want, and we can control its mm, I mean we we can use them uh, effective effective and help us to gain more money.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I recommend watching a video related to financial success. Then we will talk about it, okay?
Okay.
And I can't stop coughing.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. And because tomorrow I have the early flight, so we
Uh-huh.
can stop our class today earlier than other. Yeah.
Of course, as you wish. So sorry because of this. Of course, as you know, so
Yeah,
something
yeah,
related to
yeah.
oh, I'm crying.
I can see. I can see.
Okay, let's watch this together. Then we talk about it.
Investisseurs en 30 secondes. Il suffit d'ouvrir l'application.
A few years back, I was always in the very frustrating place where bills would constantly pile up, and yet I had no money to pay them off. If you've ever been in this situation, then it can be really stressful and hard on you. The good news is that over time, I did manage to pry my way out of this situation, and you can too. Therefore, in today's video, I'll be sharing with you all tips, tricks, and strategies that you can use to get out of this situation and hopefully get ahead in your own personal finances. Stay tuned. However, before I get into the topic, do me a favor. Subscribe and hit that like button because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you, and now let's get into it. Alright, so the list begins with 1. Keep track of your spending. You've probably already heard this a million times, and you're gonna hear it again today, simply because it works, and because you're probably not doing it. Basically, it should always be a priority. Make sure that every single penny you spend is clearly accounted for. The basic goal of expense tracking is to find and get rid of inefficient spending patterns in your financial life. Additionally, maintaining control over your finances and encouraging better financial practices, like saving and investing, will come from continuously keeping track of your costs. Basically, in the words of Peter Drucker, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So, this is what you should do to get in control of your spending habits. First, analyze your categories of spending to determine which are the most crucial. Perhaps you might even find out that you've been paying for a subscription that you're not using. I know I have, and maybe you are too. Most people consider that cutting back on these non-essential expenses is a wise approach to saving money. You might also want to go for activities that are less expensive, now that you can see where your money is going. And on top of saving money, you'll be getting educated on some of the topics you'll be reading about. So there really isn't much to lose by doing this. 2. Make a budget. I never understood why most people didn't have a budget until recently. You see, most people are worried about all the paperwork to be done to complete a budget. Well, in truth, it's a lot of work, but it is most certainly worth it. You see, you should look at budgeting from a different angle. Look at the positives, and look at how much is it going to benefit you. And once you've got a rhythm going, make sure you stick to it. I've found this to be the only way that works, so make sure you don't lose the momentum. If you create a budget and then store it away in a file or folder on your bookshelf or filing cabinet, it's simply worthless. So make sure you're constantly updating and reviewing it. You can also use digital apps and software to make this task a lot easier. There are a bunch of really good free ones online, which you can find with a quick search. And if you're interested, I created a free savings and budgeting guide, which you can get with the link in the descriptions. 3. Give yourself a limit on unbudgeted spending. Buying something in the spur of the moment that you hadn't budgeted for can be enjoyable and emotionally satisfying. Literally everyone knows that. However, that emotional high may pass quickly, leaving you with impulse purchases you don't actually need or want. If this is you, then the bitter pill to swallow is that this has to stop. In fact, it's the entire opposite of good money habits. Next time you're in the mall, try using the 1% rule for spending money. This rule states that you have to wait a day before buying anything that costs more than 1% of your yearly gross income. So if you make $60,000 a year, the rule states that you need a day before making a purchase of over $600. This guideline applies to discretionary spending on items you desire but don't require. Basically, the inner battle in your mind of do I really need this versus do I want this? The 24-hour cooling off period gives you time to reconsider your purchase. Why not take an additional day to consider if you actually need it? After 24 hours, you might not anymore. So next time you go shopping, remember what that guy from Practical Wisdom told you to try. 4. Save for big purchases. Seeing a beautiful $4,000 advertisement of a stunning 90-inch flat-screen 8K television, imagine the things you can see on that TV, does not mean that you should immediately pick up your phone and credit card and start dialing the number on the screen. That's a really bad idea. Remember the rule that the guy from Practical Wisdom told about? The 24-hour one? Remember that? So experts suggest that if you really want that big TV, then it's best that the money comes from your savings account, which is dedicated for such purchases. Not a credit card loan, unless you have a really good plan to pay back the money, which 99% of people don't. Also, there are countless advantages that come with saving for a big or expensive purchase. You may be able to negotiate a cheaper price, or at the very least better financing conditions. If you save up and pay cash, the price could drop as well. Additionally, for a larger purchase, getting a loan may make more sense, especially if it's an item with appreciating value like a home, or if it prevents you from taking money out of your savings or investment account. As paying in cash for the big expensive TV might leave you with little to spend, therefore it's wise to save up for a while before you buy the products you need or desire. Therefore, it's sensible to start saving for that specific thing, so that your daily life is not disrupted. 5. Read books about finance. It's true when they say that if you want to hide something, just put it on paper. The sad truth is that most people never bother to read. You see, some of the things people choose to ignore, such as the information contained in books, has a good chance of making them successful, if they bother to read them. Learning is a continuous process, and the more you do it, the sharper your skills become. The ability to make wise financial decisions is the chief advantage of financial literacy. It gives us the information and abilities we need to properly manage our finances, including budgeting, saving, borrowing, and investing. As a result, we're better positioned to meet our financial objectives and establish financial stability. It's kind of like a superpower, and it really puts you in a comfortable situation knowing that you're in control of your financial destiny. 6. Lower your monthly bill. Cutting your monthly spending is one of the simplest ways to gain control of your money. While you might not be able to cut back on certain permanent costs, like rent or vehicle payments, without making significant lifestyle changes, you can cut back on variable costs, like clothes or entertainment, by being adaptable and thinking sparingly. To begin saving on things like your energy bills, you may, for instance, use less power, pick a different life or home insurance company, or shop for your groceries at bulk discounts. Additionally, you shouldn't accept a loan just because your salary and credit make you eligible for one. Many people believe that the bank will not give them a credit card or a loan that they cannot afford. But the bank is only aware of the income you've disclosed and the debts shown on your credit report. The bank is unaware of any other commitments that would make it difficult for you to make timely payments. Based on your income and other monthly responsibilities, you must therefore determine if a monthly payment works for you. 7. Eat at home. Meals prepared and consumed at home may be quite cost-effective. All you have to do is reduce your reliance on takeout. The odd indulgence at a fancy restaurant is okay, but starting to cook at home or carrying packed lunches to work rather than dining out every day might save you money. Making a weekly food plan may make it simple. Plan your meals for the coming week and then stick to them. Even for those who don't consider themselves to be cooks, the internet provides a seemingly limitless array of culinary and recipe advice. Begin by making at least one meal a week at home. Bring your lunches to work starting next week. You might be amazed by how much money you can actually save. 8. Pay off your debt. Carrying a lot of debt, especially on high-interest credit cards, is one of the costliest mistakes you can make. If you want to improve your financial situation and open up new financial opportunities, pay off your debt as soon as possible. If you're the forgetful type, you should list off all your existing debts, including credit card debt, student loan debt, and vehicle loans, and determine the minimum payments you must make to stay on top of each of them. Making minimum payments will not get you out of debt quickly, so consider your fixed costs and how much of your discretionary spending budget you can set aside for debt repayment. Additionally, you can try to lower the interest rate on the debt by requesting a lower rate from the issuer, merging several loans into one, or moving high-interest debt to a low-interest credit card, such as a balance transfer card, to lower the overall interest rate. Afterward, create a debt repayment strategy and develop responsible spending practices to pay off the debt as rapidly as possible. Your monthly budget will be larger the faster you pay off your debt. As I previously said, paying off credit card debt must be a top priority. Unlike your automobile or house payment, it increases with time and is hard to cut back on. 9.
If you have an hour this week, you can learn 100 songs on the piano by learning just 4 chords. These.
Okay, keep going.
Stop using credit cards. Credit cards are a great and handy tool to have. They're a lifesaver when needed, and they do a great job getting that credit score up. However, for some people, their lack of self-control and an easy and available remedy to their problems in the form of a credit card means that they quick dig themselves into disaster. You could be depending too much on your credit cards. If you're having trouble making ends meet each month, if you continue using your credit cards as a crutch to get by, you'll soon find yourself in debt. Your ability to pay your expenses, save for retirement, or pursue other financial objectives will be constrained as a result of this. So stop using your credit cards if you genuinely want to take charge of your money. To prevent accumulating more debt, in addition to creating a budget so that you don't have to use credit, try switching to cash or debit cards, opening a short-term savings account and using funds from it for major purchases, or leaving your credit card at home. Credit cards have high interest rates that may quickly accumulate debt if not used wisely, and can cause significant stress in the event of an emergency. Because they feel like their money disappears too quickly each month, many people develop the bad habit of depending on their credit cards. They're tapped out and rely on their credit cards to get them through till payday after paying bills, food, rent or mortgage, and other expenses. Instead of relying only on your credit cards to cover expenses, stop using them altogether until you develop the wisdom and maturity to handle such an instrument. 10. Continue to spend quickly. A spending fast can be just what your personal finances need if you suffer from credit card debt, difficulties paying payments on time, or other financial problems. Basically, going on a spending fast simply means that you're refraining from making any discretionary purchases for a predetermined length of time. This is another great way to help you reduce your spending and get your finances in order. It may sound a bit daunting, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. You may be familiar with the well-known and sometimes contentious detox or cleansing fast for your body, such as giving up sugar or gluten for 30 days, or even surviving solely on fruit or vegetable juices for a few weeks. But did you know that in order to achieve financial wellness, you may use comparable fasting or cleansing procedures to your spending and saving behaviors? These are frequently month-long periods during which spending is restricted, and only categories like food, transportation, and recurring expenditures are exempted. If you're ready to live simply for a while, commit to this challenge to boost your bank account, alter your behavior, and determine what you need rather than just what you desire. Your perspective on money can even change as a result of the event. It's my hope that this has been helpful to you. Now you can always be one step ahead of your phone.
Well, so let's start. Okay, tell me if you agree. And in what extent do you agree or disagree? And actually, which one can be more practical, you think? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I just focus on from he says since the 7th.
It's okay, no matter.
Okay, to me, I think the best practice is pay off credit card.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we are
Don't
working.
forget and don't use credit card. Yeah, I know. They're really tricky.
Yeah.
Of course. So, well, actually, I decided to play this video in order to clarify the concept of financial success. You know, of course, and actually something like general life, normal life, and of course in business. Now, let me share the screen again. Okay. Well, so we have a reading section again. As I remember, we completed the listening section, yeah? Did we?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so well, now we have a reading section, okay, about financial success. So let's read the article below and then complete the parts of the chart on page 42, which relate to actually this article. Okay, let's get started.
Read article. Okay. Walmart always low price. Why I cannot see the first. Okay. Walmart yesterday really surprised investors when it sounded a strong note of optimism. Optimism. This optimism is a market turn around from 3 months ago when Walmart wondered about the strength of recovery in U.S. consumer spending. Lee Scott, the CEO, said, "I'm more optimistic about the year we have just started than I have been in several years. I'm not only optimistic about the economy and the continuing strength of the housing market, but also encouraged about Walmart's position." Mr. Scott was also encouraged by consumer spending, which he said were driven by higher tax refunds and eventually improvement in the jobs picture. The world's largest retailer by revenue said for quarter profits rose 11% to $2.7 billion or 63 cents a share, compared with $2.5 billion or 56 cents a share over a year ago. Revenues for the quarter increased 12.2% to $74.5 billion. For the full year, Walmart profits jumped 13.3% to $8.9 billion or 2.03 a share dollars, up from $7.8 billion Revenues increased 11.6% from 229.6 billion dollars to 2056.3 billion dollars. International sales were strong, contributing about 7 billion dollars to the near 27 billion dollars gain in overall sales. Mr. Scott says Walmart had a good year, but the international division had an excellent year. He stressed that while gross margins were better than originally forecast, the improvement was thanks to the mix of merchandise, not higher prices. We are not raising price and have no intention of doing so, Mr. Scott said.
Well, okay, just before we continue, of course, we have the second part of this, but before we continue, I'm going to ask you a question that is really important. Always low prices. Of course, we see normally, for example, we have some, I don't know, markets, something like stores, chain stores, okay, with something like, low, always low price or always discounted, okay. And now there are some slogans, and I want to ask you, do you think actually these slogans are only to actually advertise their business, or no, they actually talk about people? I think when you go to, for example, store with this slogan, always low price, you spend more than always. What do you think? Do you agree?
Uh, yes, I agree with that because uh, with people with people like shopping, they maybe they maybe decide very easily, and they can because when they see low price and other store, they think, oh, it's okay, and just buy
Yeah, of course.
many
And more
things.
and more. Yeah, of course. For
Yeah,
example, you have a list. Of course, you make a list before you go shopping. And
yeah,
then, of course, actually, this is really tricky. That is really smart, intelligent. And I think that is really tricky because you see that, yeah, everything is really cheap. So let me buy this. Okay, I don't need it, but it's too actually reasonable. So let me, okay, buy it. So normally you would spend more than actually normal when you go to some places, some stores like these stores with actually the same slogan,
yeah,
discounted low price. So I
yeah.
think that is really good actually idea for advertise. And now let's go back to the text. Okay, let's read it. And just the first word that actually you had a challenge about it, actually optimism and optimistic. Okay,
Yeah.
you know the meaning of optimism and optimistic?
Hmm. I think I forgot it.
Well, okay, we have optimistic and pessimistic. There are two adjectives that we can use to describe some people. Optimism, actually, this is a belief that good things would always happen. And an optimistic person is a person who believes that everything will be great. For example, all good things will happen, everything will be good. Okay, actually having good belief and actually belief and idea is optimism. And we have, of course, the opposite of optimism or optimistic person, that is pessimistic, a person who believes that all bad things will always happen. If I go out, I will actually break my leg. If I go do this, actually, I won't be successful. Okay, so everything will actually happen in the wrong way. This is pessimistic. So optimistic and pessimistic, they are adjectives, and optimism is a noun, a belief that good things would always happen. Okay, so tell me, are you optimistic or pessimistic?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm optimistic.
Optimistic, that's great. Okay, and we have the other word, sound. Of course, it means stem. You know this word, but it's not bad to actually, uh, review it again. And now, turn around. We have the word turn around, okay, in the first paragraph. And what does it mean? Actually, when a business that is not successful, or I don't know, that's in trouble, maybe turns around, it means it starts to be successful. So actually the conditions will be changed conditions, and then it starts to be successful. So this is turnaround. And we have the other word, let me check here. Okay, eventually, finally, and refund, that is repay, you know this. And contribute. Contribute actually can be used in different meanings. Help, donate, okay, so you can use. And justice and merchandise, as we talked, is good. So the synonym of goods. Okay. Well, now let's keep going with the next part. Just Ziep, anytime that you need to go, tell me, so it's okay. Anytime that you need to go and rest, just tell me, okay? Or we can stop.
Okay, okay. We can continue
Okay,
to 10 minutes in 10
of
minutes.
course, of course. So may I ask you to continue reading?
Uh, Target store. Target store. Um, Target yesterday beat was just expectations when it delivered 21.1% rise in quarterly scanning. Gain in Target's credit cards business, as well as both its Target store division and Marshall Fry store, offset a small drop in pre-tax profits as a Melvin department store chain. Target has cultivated a more upmarket and style-conscious image than other discount retailers. It is the third largest general retailer in the US by revenues. Target yesterday says it saw continued price pressure from rival Walmart. For the fourth quarter, Target's profits rose to $832 million, or 91 cents a share, compared with the $688 million, or 50 or 75 cents a share a year ago. Analysts had expected Target to earn 87 cents a share, according to Retro Research. Revenues for the quarter rose 10.7% to uh, 57 billion dollars from 14.06 billion dollars, while same-store sales from stores open at least a year rose 4.9%. Target says pre-tax profits soared 18.5% at Target stores, at the department stores, which have been ailing pre-tax profit, some 15.6% as Maxwell Fire fell, but fell 0.3% at Melvin. Credit card operation added $168 million to pre-tax profits in the recent quarter, up 11.7% from a year ago. For the full year, Target's profits were $1.84 billion, or 2.01 a share, up 11.4% from $1.65 billion, or 1.81 a share the year before. Revenues rose 9.7% to $48.16 billion from $43.91 billion, driven by new stores, a 2.9% rise in the same-store sales, and growth in credit revenues from the Financial Times.
Okay, very good. Wow.
Because today we have two reading article, very difficult with
Of course, we need to
some
talk
new
about them.
vocabulary and many many
Numbers, of course. You hate these numbers,
amount
of
of
course.
money, amount
Figures.
of money. And because we also have a video with very fast, very
Of
fast,
course. Of course, you couldn't
sentence.
realize.
So I think we can stop here, and I will try to read it again and and watch video again, and we can continue in next class.
Of course, why not? We can skip it here, and of course, we can keep going in the next session because, we're going to talk about the still reading. So, of course, if you want, you can study, but we need to talk about actually the words and phrases, and then actually, we want to talk about, the summary of
Yeah.
actually yeah, we're going to summarize these two articles in order to talk about them. Okay, so
Okay.
it's okay, we can skip this, so let me stop recording and